Hey, what's up, guys? Christian Van Buren here, co-founder of Ripple Effect Fatherhood. As you guys always know, I'm excited for this interview. Even like, I'm not gonna say more excited, but like, I'm just really excited for this one, especially because I have the privilege and the honor to interview somebody who has really made an impression on his hometown, a town that my wife and I are brand new to, and that a town that our son is now growing up in. And so I have a lot of respect for the city of Taylor, Texas, and this gentleman that we have on today. I've known him for a short time, but I mean, I've already learned so much about him and his family ties here in Taylor, and just the impact that he's making in this city. So I'm extremely excited. I know you guys are gonna really take a lot of good wisdom from this young man, but also I know this interview is going to impact at least one person out there, and that's what we aim to do here at Ripple Effect Fatherhood. We can impact at least one person, then we've done our job. And so at the end of the day, I'm not gonna go too much into that because I really want you guys to be blessed by this guy's presence. So, all right, brother, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Chris, that was quite the introduction. I don't know if I can live up to it, but I'm Ryan Schneider. I am a realtor here in Taylor, Texas, my hometown. Chris just moved here. It's a town of about, sorry, that's my dog. It's a town of about 20,000, growing every day. And yeah, I'm excited to do this interview as well. You know, we're both team young father. Young father. So and there's not many of us out there, but we're growing.
Absolutely, man. Shoot, I love it. Like you said, I mean, it's a town of 20,000, but it's growing like fast.
Yes, so, we're expected to triple in the next 15 years.
Wow.
So that gives you some context to how fast we're growing.
That's crazy.
Crazy times.
Yeah. And I will say, like, we're blessed to be here. Maddie and I are blessed to know know you and your family, but also to have the opportunity to just experience the growth in this town with you guys. And me personally, if I'm being honest, like I'm blessed to be able to go on this dad journey with a fellow dad in Taylor, Texas, man. So this is gonna be awesome. I'm excited for what's to come. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Me too. And my wife, Ashley Schneider, and my daughter, Alice Rose Schneider. Ashley grew up here as well. Deep family ties. We're talking like 8 generations on both sides. I don't know how we're not related. I throw that joke around, but it's genuinely a unique experience that we're somehow not related. So
you made sure you checked, right?
We made sure. We did the 23andMe.
Oh my gosh, man. That's awesome. I love it. And I know at some point, you know, hopefully the whoever watches this, you know, as we begin to grow, they're able to see your family and stuff like that, and just see the love that you guys have for one another. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Well, shoot, let's have a conversation about fatherhood.
All right, let's do it.
All right, brother. So you and I've had the opportunity to talk a little bit, and you told me a little bit about your dad. So for the people watching, describe the importance of your father's presence in your life and the impact that it had on the man you are today.
So my dad, his name is Chris Schneider, very hardworking, and has always been very, very present in my life. And I think as a kid, I took that for granted. You know, I thought everybody's dads were around like my dad. And I don't think it was till about high school, you know, you start to hear these other kids say, you know, my dad wasn't around. And my dad, and this is truly unique, I literally think he might be the best dad in the world. And even that statement is a truly unique statement that even to have as an adult, we're talking, he was always around, always supportive. We're talking JV or freshman basketball game on a Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock, 3.5 hours away. Look up and see him there. So just amazingly, I've been amazingly blessed with my father, and that impact that he's had on me. I find myself in situations in fatherhood, and I literally think WWCD, what would Chris do?
I
So
love it.
yeah, yeah,
Shoot.
truly unique, and he's a truly unique man. So I'm proud
Man.
that he's my dad.
Hey man, I'm excited to meet him hopefully one day in the near future, because the way you
Yeah,
talk about him, he just seems like somebody that I'd just be inspired by, already
he's
inspired by.
he's everybody's dad. You know,
Yeah.
we'll show up to random things, and he's over there putting his hand on some kid's shoulder, and it's like, wait, are you his dad? Awesome, awesome man.
Man, well, that's awesome, brother. Shout out to Chris Schneider. If you're watching this, definitely appreciate what you do as a father, what you've done as a father, and the impact that you've made. So definitely want to give a shout out to your
Yes,
pops.
sir.
But awesome. Okay, so and we were talking about Taylor and its growth and your family ties here. So with you having such a positive impression on the city of Taylor, how important is that for your daughter to see as she's growing up, and why would you say it's important?
I feel like it is going to be very important. I just want to set a good example for what she needs to be doing in the community as she gets older. I had a couple of great examples. You know, my parents very involved with the church, and my mother-in-law, who Debbie Kovar, very involved with the community, kind of set forth an example for how I feel like every person who cares about their community should be. You know, going out there volunteering. My big thing is youth. High school, middle school kids. That's just what I've always been around. And whether it's my dad going on going on week-long church vacation trips, which may sound like fun, but now as an adult, I'm like, I don't want to do that crap, man.
I
But
feel
seeing
that.
him do that, man, seeing him do that, and I'm like, okay, if Chris can do it, I can do it. And that's the example that me and Ashley, my wife, are trying to set. That hey, if you're going to be part of a community, you're going to be a part of it. You got to try to better it, because these are your people. These are where you're going to make an impact, especially in a town where we literally know everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that it may not be like that for long, but just seeing these needs, someone has to meet them,
Yeah.
and it might as well be you.
Hey, man, I resonate with that so much, and I know that a lot of people out there who are going to watch this are going to relate, because I mean, even though I don't currently live in the city or town or community that I grew up in,
Mm,
I can relate to the importance of, like you said, like, if what you want to teach Alice, if she's going to
mm,
be a part of a community, like, be a part of it, right?
right.
And so now that we're in Taylor, really wherever we're at, but especially in Taylor, I don't know what it was, something about this city. I moved here and I was like, dude, I want to be a part of what's going on here,
Yeah.
like, I want to meet everybody. I want to, go everywhere. Like, what's going on here,
Right.
Um, and so I love it already. And so I love that your answer is so set on, like, being a positive influence in your community,
Mm,
because, like you said, those are your people, right?
right. Right. It's
Man.
it's where you're called to be.
Yeah.
You talk about God sending you out. I'm a very religious man. Uh, and God sends you out, you don't have to go to another country to be part of the mission field, man. The mission field, it's right out there. It's
Yeah.
when you open your front door.
Yeah.
When you open your front door.
Man, amen to that. Oh, I love that. I love that. That the mission field is right outside your front door. Um, wow. That's gonna bless somebody
I'm
already.
hoping.
You
I'm hoping.
exceeding expectations, man. I didn't even really, I mean, my expectations are already just up here.
Uh,
This is the kind of guy you are. So that's awesome,
I
man.
appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, we were talking about the church, right?
Hmm.
And for one, real quick, I will put out there that just for everybody to know, like this guy, like God's involvement in your life is so apparent.
Mm,
Just from my point of view, when I met you, from just going forward, like we all have flaws, right? But I just want to say that I love the
awesome.
man of God that you are, man, and I know that it shines to everybody that you speak with and that you meet
I
on a daily.
appreciate that. I
Yeah,
appreciate that
man,
statement.
for sure, for sure. So, with that being said, how has your involvement in the church and your relationship with God impacted your daughter's experience of fatherhood?
Mm. I would say when it pertains to fatherhood, the biggest impact that the church has had is that no matter what, me and Ashley are going to stick together. I would say that that's probably the biggest impact, next to, just thinking that God is our father,
Mhm.
seeing the sacrifices God has made as a father. My sacrifices pale in comparison to those sacrifices being made. And then also just that, you know, marriage, especially in the religious and Christian church. Well, my dog's moving the table. Sorry.
No worries.
It's a bond between you, your wife, and God. It's not just you and your wife, and I feel like that's something that may have been lost in the modern Christian church, but that is something that impact has had on our life. Is like, hey, we're gonna be here for each other, and we're gonna
Yeah,
both be here for Alice, no matter what happens.
man. Hey, like I said, I don't even have to say much. Like
Yeah.
I mean, people will be blessed by your wisdom. Um, and I mean, and then just the fact that your wisdom comes from your relationship with the Lord, your relationship with God, and just how
Mm,
he's moved in your life, and the fact that you emphasized marriage. That's something that I enjoy, that a lot of dads and men that I interview or speak with, that they do, especially on this channel, is that they make sure to highlight their significant other. They make sure to
mm.
highlight their wife, right? Um, and that's something that I try to do as much as possible, because I mean, we can both agree, without them, like, bro, what would we do, man?
I
Like,
don't even know. I'd be living with my mom.
oh my
I told
gosh, man,
Ashley,
I
I
tell
said,
you
look,
what.
heaven forbid, if you ever die, I'm moving in with my mom right away, next day.
Exactly. I tell you what, like I am on the same boat with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like you said, highlighting marriage and the importance of it, and the importance of both of you guys being there for Alice. That I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that helps you to be a better
Yes.
father. That helps you to be a more present father, a more
Yes.
giving father, and all that stuff, right?
Mm. Yes. Yes, exactly. Because you gotta have a good marriage to be present. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes, man. Amen, brother. I appreciate you, dude. Okay, so a lot of people may not know this about you, right? But what I have experienced already, and I guess I wouldn't say I experienced it in person, but as you being someone who's an outstanding public speaker, right? Um, Describe the importance of the relationship between communication and fatherhood, like in your life. So
Mm.
how does being able to communicate effectively, and like how does that relate to your role as a father?
Okay, so far, because Alice is only, you know, 16 months old, most of the communication has been with my wife in terms of the fatherhood aspect,
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, tell me if I need to do this. Okay, now you tell me if I need to do that. Don't assume that I know stuff, because as guys, we don't know anything.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
being able to effectively communicate with your wife, that has been the biggest impact for me. And luckily, me and my wife, very good communicators. I think the better you are communicating, the less fights you get into.
Yes.
And, in especially with a newborn, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
both up here, stretched out up here, not much sleep
Yeah.
going around the table. So
Uh-huh.
it is imperative to communicate. That has been it so far. Um, Atlas lately, because she's getting older, she is able to start to pick up communication views from us.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's stuff like, hey, not cussing
Yeah.
the baby.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, we're so comfortable with each other. Sometimes we'll just cuss, and it's like, hey, you can't do that anymore. She's starting
Right.
to hear.
Right.
She's starting to hear things, and it's stuff like, hey, don't be like joking, like you're don't get into jokes where you act like you're mad, because babies don't understand that.
Got
They
you.
don't. Yes, they don't have a high level of communication. So if you're over here like acting like you're mad just for fun, it's
Yeah.
like, wait a second, we gotta stop acting like that.
That's so funny that you brought that up. And I don't mean to cut you off, but
No,
when Maddie watches this one, she's gonna give me a look like I told you so. Cause I
yeah,
joke around like that all the time. Like
yes,
and she knows I'm like just being funny, and then she knows it's joke, but she's like, as Kylan gets older, you can't be making those kind of jokes, or like you can't be joking around like that and yelling
yes,
sarcastically.
exactly. You can't be sarcastic at this point. You can't be sarcastic yet, because
Yeah.
they don't have that level of communication.
Man, well, you know what? I think even though like that's such a like it's very it's a laughable thing for us, but at the same time, I think it's a very that's a very key note that you just put out there for a lot of either young fathers or new fathers. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Because
right,
honestly, like I'm not gonna say it's not something that I thought about, because Maddie, like I said, has said it, and I do listen, right?
right,
So I thought
right.
about it, but it's definitely it's nice to also hear from another father who because your daughter's older than my son, so you're
Right.
at that stage where you have to watch that stuff. Right now,
Yeah, well,
Colin's
she's
like,
looking up at you like with
yeah,
big eyes, and you're like, okay, I'm just joking.
right,
I'm
taking
just
all those
joking.
mental notes.
Right, right.
Shoot, well, man, that's powerful. I love it. Yes, communication. That's gonna be a big one. I love it. A lot of people are gonna be blessed by that answer.
Mm,
And here's one that I'm definitely excited to hear your answer about, because this is something that I kind of ask myself all the time. But what are some things that you would say fatherhood has taught you about yourself so far?
mm. Fatherhood has taught me about myself. Just at times, it's taught me kind of how stupid I am.
Okay. Okay.
It's a little bit humbling,
Yeah.
because I'm the kind of guy who's like, look, I think I know everything, but turns out I don't, man. Turns
Yeah.
out I don't.
Yeah.
And it's also taught me how how smart my wife is in terms of
Mm,
being a mother. There's just such a motherly instinct that, and I'm sure you've seen it with Maddie.
yeah.
It's like she knows things I would never have any clue about.
Yeah.
Alice would like poop her diaper, and she's sitting in the corner. I'm just chilling there, not knowing anything's happening. Ashley walks in a second. Alice, did she poop her diaper? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I don't smell good.
Yeah.
About myself, it's I'll tell you, it's made me work harder, because now all of a sudden it's not, hey, you're providing for yourself and your wife.
Mhm.
It's you're providing for a child. And I know that's something, going back to my father, it was very evident how hard he worked, even when 2008 came around.
Mm.
Just doing whatever to make it work. And he had 4 kids. I only have one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's a big
it
difference.
that's what it's shown me, is just like, hey, you can work harder. You can, no matter what happens, you gotta provide.
Man, well, I love that. And I guess two big pieces that I got from that is how it's humbling, right? Shows us
Yes,
how much we don't know, how stupid we are,
yes,
right? Um,
exactly.
and that's definitely something that I feel I can definitely relate to, is that I've learned about myself
Right.
is yeah, like you just whenever before, like during that whole 9 month pregnancy or however long the pregnancy is, you think that you're prepared for it. Like you're like, okay, like I got this mentally, like, you know, and I'll be able to do this and or whatever. And you know, and you just you're humbled immediately,
Right. Right.
daily,
Exactly.
yeah,
Right away.
daily. And then yeah, you realize the importance of working hard, because a lot of us hear that growing up, like, oh, work hard, work hard, work hard.
Right.
But like you said, whenever you have a little one, like you realize the value of that
Mm,
concept. It's not just, you don't just say work hard to just say it, because once you have a
right.
kid, it's like, hey, like you want to provide a certain type of lifestyle for your kid.
Right.
And with that, and that lifestyle comes with, I mean, it's not just going to present itself, it comes with
Mm,
your hard work as a father, of course,
comes with hard
as a
work.
mother as well. But you can relate as a father that you have to put in extra work in order to provide, because it's no longer just about the lifestyle you want, it's about providing that lifestyle
Yes.
for your little one.
The lifestyle you want to provide.
Yes.
Mm,
Man, that's amazing, dude. I love that. Man, dude, people are gonna really, this is amazing. People are gonna be blessed by this, man. And I'm excited, and I'll continue to thank you for doing this, man, because like I
yes,
said, you
sir.
know, it's all about serving the public, and I'm just glad that somebody's gonna be blessed by this.
Awesome.
um so yeah, brother. So I told you before we started, but I'll reiterate. I saw on your Facebook recently that that your baby girl Alice likes the movie Coach Carter, which I will say is one of my favorite movies as well.
Yes.
So shout out to Alice for that one.
Yes.
But you want to give a little background info on that real quick?
Yeah, she just went up to the table, grabbed the remote, turned the TV on, and she's 15 months old, and turns on whatever streaming service is on, and then the next thing we know, Coach Carter's on the screen, and we're like, okay, then she's just sitting there watching it.
I
We're like,
love it.
did you plan to do this, or you just like what you saw as you
Uh-huh.
accidentally turned it on? Either way, she liked it. She likes all sorts of movies, man.
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, that might mean there's some basketball in her future or something. I don't know,
See,
man.
we will see.
But okay, so with that being said, let me ask you, what are some things that you learned from the movie Coach Carter that you try to apply to your role as a father?
So, in the future, this pertains to Coach Carter.
Okay.
It's you can be strict and you can expect results, but you have to teach these kids to put the work in to
Mm,
get those results, whether that's in grades. My big thing, and I tell all kids this when I'm like leading small groups or something, in a spiritual sense, especially for me, it's you got to put the work in to get the results. And I think that's a key thing I'm gonna reiterate to Alice as she gets older, especially pertaining to religion. If you want a great relationship with God, put the work in. If you want to understand the Bible better, put the work in. It ain't easy. It
yeah.
ain't nothing's easy. If you want God to bless you, put the work in. You know, you reap what you sow. And I feel like that movie is a big, it's a that's a big meaning of that movie is you put the work in. You know, the first thing he does when he comes in there, it's like, hey, hit the baseline, we're doing suicides.
Yeah.
You know, don't expect to win without putting the work in. Don't expect to succeed without putting the work in life. That's a big point of that movie, and that's also a point that resonates with me. That might probably picked up from that movie.
Man. That's, yeah, no, I agree 100%. And
Mm,
I'm so glad that you related the spiritual aspect behind that too, because um yeah, I've heard it a lot recently too in different sermons that I've listened to or been
mm,
present for, is, you know, the importance of application. Like,
right,
because the Bible says that the Lord will give you what you ask for, right? I mean, I don't know the word for word, but the Lord will
right,
give you what you ask for, especially like wisdom, right?
right,
um
right,
but if you don't apply it, if you don't do the work involved,
right.
then like you said, you won't be able to reap what God meant for you to sow, I guess, for lack
Yes.
of better words.
Right.
But yeah, man, I think that right there, I mean, I should have just asked that question first and then cut it off. And that's enough blessing for everybody to apply to their lives, no matter what they got
Oh
going
man.
on, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah. And that can be applied to anything. And especially as a husband, you want a good marriage, it's work sometimes. It's easy. If you have something bugging your mind, you're like, I'll push it off to another day. No, put the work in. Find out what the meaning of your issue is, or your wife's issue. And even in fatherhood, put the work in. You get home from work and your girl wants to do stuff. You just want to sit and look at Facebook or TikTok,
Yeah.
right? You like, I need to mentally decompress. It's
Yeah.
work. It's work sometimes to play with them, but
Yes.
that's how you get the results,
Yes.
you know?
That's, man, that I'm gonna leave that, and we'll talk about that more like outside of this, because
Yeah.
that's something that's very powerful to me and speaks to me a lot too.
Mm.
And I know that that'll come up in our conversation some more, but I just want
Yes,
people to
sir.
just take that and let it soak in and just apply it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's
Right.
awesome. So shoot, well, you ready for the golden question?
Let's go.
Okay, because I didn't ask you this one. I didn't let you prepare for this. I usually
Y'all
don't let
good.
people prepare, so I hope you're ready. All right, golden question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? And what would your superhero name be?
Oh man. Ah, it's a tough one. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you see this question all the time. And part of me, I'm very frugal, very
Okay.
frugal. So part of me wants to say teleportation so I can get into like Six Flags for free at Disney World.
I
That's
feel
part
you.
of me. That's part of what I want. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, look, I want to go. I just don't want to pay.
Agreed.
But I mean, I would say probably whatever that Charles Xavier has, man, where he can, have you ever seen them X-Men movies? He can straight
Yeah.
up control people. If you
Yeah.
could go in there and control Putin, hey,
Yeah.
stop the war, man.
Yeah. Right.
That'd probably be the best for the world. But
Yeah.
for me, on a selfish level, teleportation, so I can get into places for free.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Hey,
yeah.
teleportation. So, okay. Shoot. And you know what? With you being a real estate agent, you could just teleport to another state, sell a house, come on back. Not even have to worry about it, right?
That's that. Hey, with gas prices too, man.
Oh,
Teleport to my showing.
yes. That was perfect timing for that answer, huh?
You want to go see that other house, man? I'll meet you over there. Meet you over there.
Yeah,
You
right.
drive yourself. You drive yourself.
Oh, I love that. So what would you call yourself?
Ah, man, just going back to being a realtor. That's all about personal branding, Mr. Remax.
Mr. Remax. Shout out to Remax, right? Shout out to
Hey,
Remax.
shout out to Remax, man.
I love it, man. Well,
Oh
shoot.
man, I cracked myself up with that one.
You
Maybe a little
crack
too
me
hard.
up, man. Gosh. Well, hey, that's that's awesome, man. I mean, all jokes aside, on behalf of me and Ripple Effect Fatherhood, we really appreciate you making time for this, man.
Awesome,
And
man.
the people that this will bless, the fathers that this will bless, the households that this will bless.
Mm,
I'm just excited for people to soak up this wisdom, apply it, and hopefully be that ripple effect, right? Spread the
mm.
wisdom onto
That's what it's
someone
all
else.
about. That's
Exactly.
what it's all about. And I'm glad you're doing this, man. I know it's a lot of people don't know how scary it is to put content out there, right?
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you're taking the step and providing an avenue for all this fatherly wisdom, which is something the world needs, man. Sorry, my
Hey.
dog's ruining the moment,
No,
but
no, no. You're good, man. Hey, I love the authenticity. So like we don't edit nothing or nothing, you know what I
awesome.
mean? Like,
Awesome, man.
yeah, it's authenticity. I want it to be as authentic as possible because hey man, I mean, we ain't scripted out here, we just being real. Dad's being real,
Being real. That's the best thing you can be, man.
Shoot, hey, no doubt. But with that being said, shoot, I'll let you get back to your day. I know you got
Awesome.
some real estate business to get to.
Always.
But man, this has been a blessing, and I'm excited to put this on our channel for people to see. So, last thing, did you want to add anything else before I wrap us up?
Sure, man. I'm excited for you to come over later, about 5 o'clock. I'll be interviewing you. You know, we're doing a little flip flop today because I do a show. It's called the Taylor Show. Right now, we're focused on just interviewing real interesting people around Taylor who are changing the community. You fit that bill with what you're doing. Love the energy. And, you know, I'm just excited to introduce you to some more people in Taylor. You know, get the name out there as much as we can. And because I love what you're doing, especially pertaining to the town of Taylor, because it's something Taylor needs. It's more fatherly leadership and advice.
Yes. Amen. Well, hey man, I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to growing in Taylor and growing with you, man. So we're gonna do
Awesome.
some big things, right? One
Yes,
day at a
sir.
time. One day at a
Yes,
time.
sir.
All right, guys. I know this will impact at least one person out there, so I'm not even gonna go into how blessed I feel from this. But with that being said, I know Maddie wants to make sure I put in there. We have a social media, we have an Instagram page. Follow us at re.fatherhood. We try to post daily. Facebook, we have I think it's also at re.fatherhood. We got a Ripple Effect Fatherhood page on Facebook. All those links will be in the comments or in the caption below. So at the end of the day, you guys have a blessed Saturday. And as always, thanks for being here.